All right, let's do the retirement plan for Randy and Sharon. Randy and Sharon sampled from South Park, Colorado. Get it? Randy and Sharon Marsh. But anyway, that's not their real name. I'm going to probably change names going forward just because I don't want people to get too knowledgeable of who they are. So let's go to the dashboard. We got a couple pages of their goals and thoughts and everything. So let's tell you a little bit about who Randy is and Sharon. So we got Randy is 54. Only plans on living until he's 80. I think they live in New Hampshire. I don't know that for sure, but just seeing the area code of the company he works at tells me they live in New Hampshire. Sharon is 61, so Sharon robbed the cradle, and she will have her live until there's 80. There's a guy named, who was it, Scott on my YouTube channel. He's not on here much anymore, but he gets really angry when I use that voice. Hey, you keep using that voice, it really makes me mad. I'm like, dude, just why do you bother? It's just weird to me that people get so upset about the most silly things. The way I talk bothers you, go someplace else. It's okay. So one thing about YouTube, we definitely got some negative Nellies out there for sure. All right, now let's go to Randy and Sharon. So again, live until 80. That's just what they're telling me. I don't know why. That seems low to me. Maybe they both smoke. I have no idea. But if that's what they tell me they want to use, that's what we're going to say. We're going to say Randy's goals. He said he wants to retire at 60, and presumably Sharon will retire at 60 as well, but I don't know that for sure. I just don't know. So we're just going to use 60 because he didn't say that for her. He just said he wants to retire at 60. Now, he makes most of the money, as you can see here. $100,000 a year for Randy, $50,000 for Sharon. A little bit confused by the Social Security. Randy says he wants to take it at 62, which makes sense because he's only going to live until he's 80, and he says he's going to get $2,000 a month. So I'm assuming that's reduced from his PIA. So I don't know that for sure. So I'm going to say his PIA, the amount he'd get at 67 is $2,500 a month, and that would be reduced because he's taking at 62 to $2,000 a month. He just says Social Security. Randy, age 62, 2,000. So, and then the amount of money he makes, I got to think that he's making probably more than $2,700 or $2,500. But I want to err on the side of caution. And Sharon's going to take out 65, and she'll get 2,200 again. So I'm just going to assume she'll probably make a little bit less. We'll say that's 24. We'll say she is going to have a little bit of a reduction there. So that might be a little bit off, but it's not going to matter. I'm telling you. Randy's going to get a big fat pension at $4,400 a month when he retires, and his goal is to retire at 60. So that's a big deal with 100% survivor benefit. So now it doesn't look like Sharon will survive him because they're both live until 80, and Sharon's 7 years older. That's a big deal. So between pensions and Social Security, these guys are getting $100,000 a year income. Let's see. All right. So what else goals? Healthcare costs. Now, Randy's union, when he retires, he'll pay $600 a month for health insurance, which will cover him and Sharon. And I'm sure that'll be lower once Sharon goes on Medicare, which would be when Randy's 58. But I don't know that. So I'm just going to assume it's $7,200 or $600 a month until Randy goes on Medicare, even when Sharon's on Medicare. So when Sharon's on Medicare, she'll have a couple $1,000 a year for Medicare, and Randy's going to have $7,200 a year for his health. I bet that's actually not true, but I don't want to. Again, I don't want to make stuff up and be overly optimistic rather than less optimistic. So we'll just err again on the side of caution. And like always, I usually say about $1,500 or so for out-of-pocket expenses. That'd be your supplemental policy and your co-pays and whatnot. And they're going to self-fund long-term care. All right, so let's see what else. Expenses. Randy just basically saying spending $2,300 a month, on food, gas, utilities. Another reason I think they live in New Hampshire because their utility bills is pretty high. So I'm just saying $2,500 a month pre-retirement, and then I'm saying it's going to be $3,000 a month at retirement, so that way they can enjoy it. So I'm giving them. He didn't say that. I'm just giving them a lot more wiggle room to do some fun stuff, man. Do some vacay. Just have some fun. Randy's putting 16% of his he's putting it all into his Roth 401k. Sharon's putting $325 a month into her traditional 401k. And one of the questions Randy has is, should he take 16% of his income and contribute to the traditional IRA or the 401k? And that's a good question. We don't know, but let's see. Now, their net worth is good. It's they got 365,000 of investable assets, of which 200,000 is in Randy's Roth, which I think is flipping awesome. He just says that Fidelity manages it, but he didn't say what. So I'm just using the Vanguard Moderate Growth Life Strategy Fund. Sharon's got her 401k. It's a traditional 401k using the same proxy. That is traditional. And then Randy's got 60,000 in a traditional 401k. Randy, so Randy's traditional. So let's save that. All right, so between them, they got $365,000 of liquid assets. Not too shabby. They got a property that they bought in 1993 for $119,000, and it's worth $500,000 now. My only concern about them saying they live in New Hampshire is that's cheap property tax right there. But I don't know. So $1,700 a year for $500,000 home, that's nothing. On top of annual insurance, only $600 a year. That's a smoking deal. That just seems low to me. But again, I'm just using the numbers they gave me. They do have a loan, only $93,000 on it. Their monthly payment is $1,639. I'm not sure if that was property PITA, not PITA like the crazies, but property interest taxes and insurance. But it's not very high, so I'm just going to assume that's the case. That it's property, and I'm going to assume it's just principal and interest. Principal and interest. And they want it paid off in 5 years. That's their goal. So I don't know what their interest rate is. I have no idea what the original amount is, but I'm just saying if they want it paid off in 5 years, that's what we're going to use, a $220 original amount, 15-year term, and paid and they're paying $1,639 a month. And I'm just assuming that's principal and interest, that they're escrowing it outside, because we're going to show you the income, the cash flow needed to pay for the escrow. Then if we just look at their investments using the Vanguard Life Strategy Moderate Growth, you see it's 60-40 portfolio. Again, pay no mind to the target allocation. It doesn't matter. And the annual return is 4.9 with a standard deviation of 10. It literally won't matter. So let's look at, first and foremost, let's look at the tax thing. I bet the tax is not, that's 10. Then Sharon dies. Randy goes from 9.6 to 13.7. That's about as flat as you can get. That's and the reason is because they got the pension. No other way around. That pension kicks in, and that's a nice pension, man. And Social Security's kicking in right about here. It doesn't change much the tax. Hard to imagine they could do anything better here. If we look at a 1040, we go down to let's say 2026. Will Randy have a pension? Yeah, right there. So Randy's got a pension. They'll have a little bit of Social Security there for I'm not sure who that. Maybe both. So their income is, their AGI is $79,000, standard deduction, personal exemption. Their taxable income is $53,000. So literally their total income is $85,000, $86,000. They're paying $6,000 in tax. That's not too bad if you ask me. Go to 2031. Social Security is a lot more. Okay, yeah, there you go. So that's more like it. Pension $59,000 is not inflated, no cost of living adjustment. Social Security $63,000, of which only $46,000 is taxable, and they got 105 plus another basically 20,000 here. $125,000 of gross income. They're only paying $10,000 in tax. That's tough to argue. Let's go down to the last couple of years here. 2042 will be Randy. You can see his Social Security dropped. He's got mandatory distributions from his IRA, from his 401k. So at that point, he'll pay $15,000 on, based on $25,000 of tax. But that's 12% bracket. Our effective tax rate. That's just not bad. All right, so let's look at retirement. They're not run out of money. That's just a fact. They're leaving a good amount of money, $1.25 million to whoever kiddos are behind them. And the reason for that is this right here, income. 100% of their income is coming from guaranteed sources, the pension and Social Security. Now they do have to take withdrawals from IRAs and 401ks and whatnot, but it's not much. It's look at that, and we're talking minimal amounts. Anyway, so let's go to action items. Let's go here, probability. They're just not run out of money. It's not happening. If they live till they're, we can say 85 years old. We'll have Randy live until he's 85. That means surviving Sharon by 12 years. Again, they're not running out of money. their money can grow even more. So the issue, they're not run out of money. It's just not happening. I think they probably knew that, but let's spend more instead of $3,000. Let's spend $4,000 a month. It's just they're not run out of money. They won't leave as much, obviously, but they're not running out of money. That's spending $4,000 a month, my friends, as opposed to $3,000 a month, which you had to put in your document here, $2,300, and that's not even the whole expenditures. I mean, look, if we go to the total expenditures and we go to proposed plan, your expenditures will include other things, your mortgage. Let me show you. So we got your expenditures: housing, healthcare, living expense. And we fast forward to 62. So Sharon's on Medicare here. You are, Randy, are retired, so you're on your union plan. Your housing is paid off. I mean, look at that. So you got living expense. That's $4,000 a month in today's dollars. We inflate that, it'll be $57,000 at that point. Your property tax and homeowners is $2,600. Your health care is your second highest bill by far. I just, that means, so your total expenditures are, $70,000-$80,000 a year when all said and done. Pretty good place to be, man. That is a pretty good place to be. And we look at your accounts. I mean, so even here, your 401k, by the time you hit 72, between you and Sharon, is only $263,000. Your Roth 401k is now that will have required distribution, so you'd want to obviously roll that to a Roth IRA. But I tell you, I like this right here of that. I like that. If you're paying less than 10% on that kind of scratch, that's a good place to be. And again, just showing how bad the FICA is. We're not saving enough. Well, yeah, because we're paying freaking 6.2 for FICA, man. All these people, we're not saving enough. Well, that's a savings that you're putting in. Not you, but everybody. All right, so let's say we were to profile. And what we're going to do here is we're going to do savings, not into the Roth, but we're going to do it into a, let's just zero this out for the time being, into a traditional. Right there. And we're going to go to traditional. 16% until retirement. We're going to say no match because you get the you're getting the pension. And let's just take a gander what the tax rates look there. A little bit less on this end because you're this pre-tax, a little bit more on that end. Not much, and then you see that big jump when Sharon dies. My preference, frankly, Randy, is I'd rather, well, you got the income, just go ahead and put in the Roth. I mean, can I validate it's going to be the best way to go? No, I can't because we have no idea. But you have, I mean, look at your cash flows here. I mean, you have such positive income that I would not, you got, well, now we're spending unsaved cash flows. I mean, you got an extra 22,000, 18,000. Watch it. I mean, because you have all this excess, I hate to say excess income, but you have more income than you're spending simply because of, you're making more money. So I would still do the Roth. I would still add to the Roth. I wouldn't convert while I'm making this money. But actually, let me show you something else. I just to show you that was spending unsaved income. Let me pause it real quick. I think, do I got to do that? Yeah, hold on a sec. All right, so here I forgot to change. I changed it back. Instead of spending unused income, we're actually reinvesting it. This is going to get even better, man. Watch this. And better in terms of your asset base is going to grow like a freaking weed. Now we're leaving $1.865 million. That's if you spend $4,000 a month in retirement. $1.864 million. If you only spend $3,000 a month, is $2.5 million. So then you look at the taxes where you're reinvesting that, it jumps, it gradually jumps. But it's still 10% on that kind of money. It's just a good place to be. I would do the Roth conversions because you have the excess cash right now while you're working to pay it. Not Roth conversions, the Roth contributions. I would not take by 60,000 and convert it. Not while you're making. Wait till Sharon quits working, and then I would absolutely. But don't do that now because it's going to add 60,000 to your income you already have. So what I would do is I would say, look, all right, I'm going to convert, but I would wait till Sharon quits. All right, she'll probably be on Social Security. You'll still be making money. Or you could wait till I'd probably wait till you quit now I think about it. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Here, you're going to quit. You're going to have your pension income, and then Sharon's going to be on Social Security. So right here, you're going to have you're basically halfway in the 12% tax bracket. So when you're 60 and quit your job, the only income you have coming from is Sharon's Social Security and your pension. That is the time you should do your Roth conversions, without question. Before your Social Security kicks in, right there, and after you quit, you got a 2-year time frame. You should do your Roth conversions in for sure. That's what I would do. Do it right there. After you quit, you no longer have an income, and before you take Social Security. Now, you will have a pension, but after you quit and you no longer have any earned income, and before you take Social Security, that's absolutely when you should do the Roth conversion, without question. I wouldn't do it here. All you're going to do is add $80,000 of $60,000 of income. Yeah, don't do that, and that will just. I just wouldn't do that. I'd wait until right here. In fact, it's interesting because then you can see the net flows 10,000, 4,000, and then going forward, you can see all kinds of net flows. That's just money that you're reinvesting in a taxable account. So, hope that helps, man. Yeah, keep going to your Roth 401k just because I don't think you're in a high tax. I mean, you're 22%. I get that, but I think in the long run, I just look at this, man. I mean, this is doing. Oh wait, that is doing traditional. Let's go back to making it in the Roth. Let's change this over. I mean, once you guys hit retirement, you're going to want this to be in the Roth. I just think paying a little bit more now while you and Sharon are alive absolutely makes sense, as opposed to paying a lot more in the future. So here we're doing the Roth. Watch the difference in taxes when you guys retire. It's crazy. I mean, it does go up a little bit, but it stays, it doesn't hit 10% until you're 71 years old. And then it jumps to 14.5, but there's nothing you can do about that because you have the pension and you're no longer married filing jointly. But I would be doing the Roth. I mean, here, while you're doing the Roth, you're at the 8.7% federal tax rate, 8.7, 10%. And then you're down here at 60, you're at 7.2, which is the lowest you'll ever be. So absolutely do the Roth without question. And then right there is when you do the conversion. I hope that makes sense. Your house will be paid for in 5 years. We go to retirement cash flows here. And we're going to see the house cash flows expenses right there. Housing being paid off by the time you hit 60 years old. It's perfect. House is paid off. Everything's in a Roth except for Sharon's IRA and your 401k, 60,000. Everything else is in a Roth. No mortgage, big pension, no worries about health insurance. Man, that's a good place to be. And we're not even having invested that aggressively either. So, hope this helps, Randy. Appreciate you guys being here. Good stuff. Anyone has questions, thoughts, concerns, or ideas for old Randy and Sharon here, put them in the notes. We'll see you.